Hello, everybody. Welcome to my YouTube channel. So today I'll be doing a quick book review about a book that I read and really loved. Given the fact that it is Black History Month, I'm putting you on some books by really gifted Black authors that I think you should definitely read. So, without wasting any time, today I'll be talking about a book by James Baldwin. I'll share with you the things that I loved about the book, the themes, maybe a little petite summary of the book, and also some of the questions that it invoked in me. So, going right into it, the book is Go Tell It on the Mountain. Go tell it on the mountain, over the hills and da, da, da. Exactly. When I saw the title at the bookstore, I was like, I'm taking that home. And so, the little background on James Baldwin is here. And yeah, this was not my first book by James Baldwin. I have read one of his works, Giovanni's Room, and really liked it. I think he does a good job to portray some complex emotions in a way that you as the reader, you are very engrossed into the sentiments that the characters are feeling, and it kind of just makes you think about your own experience with such emotions. So if it's shame, if it's guilt, if it's love, all those things. Yeah. And so in Go Tell It on the Mountain, as you can see, the title is from a Christian, I think, Christmas song, right? And so if you're coming to read this book, expect a lot and an avalanche of scriptures. If you're a Christian, definitely these are some of the scriptures that you have heard over and over again in church. Specifically, if you're from a Pentecostal church, I feel like this book is going to really remind you a lot of your experiences in a church, like the deliverance beat, the type of preaching, etc. And so, getting into a bit of the summary of what the book is about, it's about a small guy, 14-year-old. It is Johnny's birthday, and I think with turning 14, it seems like a really big thing for him because all of a sudden it's like he has this realization of what is ahead of him. And by what is ahead of him, I mean like the life that he should expect. So this book is set in Harlem in the 1930s, and it was a very um, specific times in terms of black people, because I think segregation was still happening. And so when he looked at the lives of those around him, he could see like there's not so much opportunities of like self progression as a young black man. And so at the same time, Johnny is really grappling with moral identity, if it's a thing, because he's the stepson of this preacher. And as a preacher, this man's gospel is the gospel around, you're either going to heaven or down in the pit of fire, hellfire. Like if you're sinning, bro, there's no in between, there's no salvation for you. And mind you, the days of salvation are about to end, so you better get your things in order, something like that. And so Johnny has his own moral struggles, and he's like, man, I'm going to hell. And at the same time, he hates his father passionately. And the things that his father does to him, like how he treats him as a son, as a stepson for that matter, it kind of warrants the hate that Johnny is giving him. I don't advocate for him, but there's a way he will just treat him, like beat him up, say really nasty things to him, and the way he treated Johnny versus his biological son Roy, and the fact that Roy was even more rebellious than Johnny, because Johnny was this calm kid who everybody would be like, Johnny, you're gonna be a really great man, you're gonna even be a pastor, versus this biological son who's like rebellious. He also hates his father, but his father kind of has more sympathy towards his own son. I don't know if it's sympathy, empathy, whatever that is. Yeah, so in the book we can see a young person going through this dilemma of, okay, this religion that I am in, how is it affecting my moral standing, etc., etc. Yeah, but as the book goes along, we realize that the father, Gabriel, who's condemning Johnny because he's portraying himself as a holy man of God, he himself, he has his own skeletons in the closet, and these skeletons are revealed through flashbacks from his sister. And so I thought that was really interesting because the way the flashbacks came, it was in a very nice way, because I can't find a better adjective. Not in the sense that the author is just telling you, okay, so and so remembered, but it was in the middle of like reading a flashback, is when I'm saying, oh, actually, it's this character in church. And you know, in church, the way your mind can just drift to your past or something. And then that's how the flashback is integrated. So, in terms of the writing, I'd give it a 10 out of 10. A book that I definitely just reread to also learn the manner in which he is showing things and not telling as a writer. Uh, in terms of the themes that you can expect, definitely something to do with race and racial injustice, because there's Johnny's father who is in the hands of police, and at that time, police brutality towards a person of color was just like, you just couldn't get away from it. And I think it's still a thing that is ongoing in a way. So that's the thing. Definitely, it's portrayed in the book um in a way that's kind of soul crushing, but you know. And what other things? I think there's the women in this book. I view them as really strong in terms of their intellectual, I could maybe say like wisdom that they carry. Because I know, yes, there's that aspect of strong black woman, but they kind of end up with these men who are very lousy, which I think is also an epidemic in this generation. We see a lot of nice women with lousy men. Okay, am I supposed to say that on the internet? But yeah, so there's Florence who's very brave. She leaves her home, like where her parent was. Florence is the sister of the preacher here, Gabriel, and she goes to New York, going to the north alone as a woman during the era. Very brave thing, very, very brave. But Florence meets this man who does not know how to handle money at all. Like the small money that he gets, anakunya, he like drinks it all. And even when he's trying to like make gestures of, oh, I'm a good husband, he's just gonna do the wrong. Thought the women were presented in a way that was very admirable. Like they were faced with those challenges of either having to raise children on their own or support their households. And they still did it like in a very strong, admirable way. But the men that they were with kind of failed them. But now, coming to think of it, I don't know if I can also blame the men, because I feel like the environment at that time really bled into the identity of a person in a way that if the environment around you really showed you how inferior you are, and especially as men with so much egoism, whatever, I think it does some kind of damage to your identity in a way that it just breeds a sense of hopelessness. Like, yes, I'm gonna try, but at what cost? Like, it's like, you know, the system is in charge. So hata nikijaribu sana hakuna mbali vile inaweza enda, something like that. Yeah, and these are some of the questions that it made me think, because Johnny was having a relationship with his father that was really built on tension. Like, they had father son wrangles, and it's like in Johnny trying to, okay, it's not really Johnny trying to discover his father's past, but with his father's past being revealed in the book, um I think that is kind of meant to help Johnny understand, quote unquote, where his father is coming from. But that leads me to the question of, yeah, I see it a lot with other parents, like parents treating their kids in not the most beautiful way, and then to justify the actions, it's like, oh, I was raised with a father who was very, very strict, blah blah blah, that's how I'm the way I am. But I think you can change. And then secondly, it's also something to do with identity. What do you do, or how do you navigate a world where instead of you being able to forge your own identity, it's like the world, the society has already forged an identity for you, like because you are so and so from such a so and so class, your future is just going to be so and so. You are capable of only doing this and this and not going beyond this and this. So, how do you deal with that? I didn't have a chance to finish the video, but I think it's a book that I would definitely recommend for you to read. And tell me in the comments what you think about the book. Ciao.